Hi everyone. In last sessions, what we discussed? We discussed about the Terraform. After that, we discussed the how to install the Terraform in our Windows machine, and we created one services in our AWS account by using of the Terraform script. After that, we discuss about the Terraform architecture. Already we know that what type of command we have to use it in our Terraform script. First one is a Terraform init validate, then format. If you want to format your test script, then we have to go with Terraform format. Then after that we have the Terraform plan, apply, destroy. These are the things we need to execute the Terraform command while using of the Terraform. So after that, you can see here the illustrations. We are not able to find out the Terraform documentation. So just we need to the search on the Terraform documentation. So, so when we click on the Terraform documentations, you can see here the AWS provider HashiCorp Terraform registry. In that, whatever we want to create the type of the resources, we have that all resources documentation here. Suppose when we talk about of the any kind of here, suppose whenever we go with S3 bucket, you can see here in the S3 bucket it's simple storage. So in the S3 bucket, by using of the S3 bucket, we can copy this documentation part while creating. This is my instance name, this is my service name, this is my alias name. So we can say it is a reference variable. It can be anything. So when we talk about of the any services, in that it should be we can call it it depends on you. We have to decide it. But this is my AWS S3 bucket. You can see other tag name also. This is my bucket, and you can see the environment. So what type of environment you want to create it. So whenever we talking about of the real-time project, so we have the different environments in our project, like dev environment, then SIT environment, pilot environment, then UAT environment, and production environment. So all lower environments are we need to the test in that. So our applications working as expected or not, we have to lots of operation in that. So production environment is nothing but it's a live environment. Our real-time users can access our application for the production environment. All lower environment no one can access without uh, except of the or whole project teams. Okay, so these are the things we have here. So we have the documentation part. So if you want to any kind of resources, if you want to generate in um, AWS account by using of the Terraform, then you can refer from these also. Okay, this is the documentation part. You can see here. But in last sessions, what we completed the Terraform architecture, and we created one service also in our AWS account by using of the Terraform script. Okay, so today we are going to start a new topic that is called as a what is the you can see here the we have the different log files here and state files here. Okay, so right now I'm deleting all files here from my desk here. I want to move in the you can see here this is my uh, test Terraform script. So I want to I want to generate the I'm going to generate new EC2 instance, like sorry, when I need to click on here EC2 instance. In EC2 instance you can see the do you have any instance yet here? I think we don't have any instance. We already deleted. I think we have the two instances which is already created from our side. So I'm going to delete this one also here. Sorry, here just I want to delete it. Okay, so I have deleted. You can see here the we don't have any instances in our AWS account. Okay, so right now where we are in the our IAM user account. Okay, so whenever we talking about of the here the Terraform script here, so we can see here the before going to apply our Terraform script, we don't have any files here. So you can see here the yesterday we already discussed once we apply, then we can see some files are generated from the Terraform side. Whenever we talk about of the Terraform init command, okay, let me cd then ec2. Okay, after that, oh sorry, I need, okay, initialization. What is the initialization? So init command is nothing but we need to the download the some plugins whatever we require for the AWS account. You can see here the some files are generating from the Terraform script side here. So in this Terraform script files, so we have to wait for some time. You can see here the one log file is generated. So what is the purpose of this log file? Log file is used to the log the provider versions, okay, in your Terraform configuration. So we are configuring our our Terraform. So whatever we creating of the resources at that time, one log, once we call the init command, then we got a one log files here. So you can see here the one Terraform version files is generated. The log file is used to the log provided versions here. You can see here the 6.25. Suppose whenever we created another resources here, so I want to create S3 bucket. Then I want to write the code for the S3 bucket. Then after that, if we are using the different version, then we will get some errors in that. So that's why we need to use the log file, so which is generated from the Terraform side. So in upcoming resources we want in our AWS account, so for the same version for the all resources we want to use here. So that is called as a Terraform configurations log versions here. So log file is used to the log the provider versions in your Terraform configuration. Suppose if I'm changing here the versions for the every resources, then what will be happen here? Maybe we are using the different versions. That at that time we are getting some errors in our Terraform script. So that's why we have to generate the log files whenever we call the init. So that is called the provider versions files here. You can see the one hashes code is generated from the Terraform side. This file is maintained automatically from the Terraform init. Manually edit may be lost your further the whatever we have the future updates, it will be lost. So that's why we can say call the. So this is the entry point of perspective of the questions. So they will ask what is the log file. Then we have to say log files is used to the log the provider version in your Terraform configuration. So it is a suppose whenever we talking about of the it record extract the version of the providers that Terraform using for the current configuration. Suppose whatever we creating the upcoming resources in our AWS account, then same uh, version resources should be created in our AWS account. So that's why we are using here the we have to use the providers versions here. This helps to avoid the issues with provider version and mismatch across the different run and different team members also. Suppose we have the we have the one project team. In that project teams, so whatever we have the provider version should not be mismatched in our Terraform script, because whenever we calling up the different resources in the AWS account, then it will be mismatch our configurations, and it will be once we mismatch the configuration, then we will get the some chances of the error in our resources. So that's why we have to use the log files. After that, when we talk about of the here, so this is the initialization. Once we initialize the Terraform command, then we will generate one log files from the Terraform side. You can see here the one license files here. So you can see that this is the one license files which is provided from the Terraform side. Okay. So we have to just keep in your mind what is the Terraform log files here. You can see the SCL is the my extension here. Then we have the provider exe file for the AWS which is provided from the. Okay. After that, we have to validate my. So we have the one command that is called as a validate command. So what is the purpose of this command? So whatever we created the Terraform script, those Terraform script, if there are any issues in that, syntax is any issues in that, then we will easily identify. So my syntax error in my test script, so that's why we have to use the Terraform validate command here. So I think here, okay, you can see here the, is there any issue in our Terraform script for syntactically, then we will easily identify by using of the Terraform validate. Okay, you can see here the we successfully configuration is validate here. After that, suppose I'm not having any spaces here, I'm not having of any spaces here, I'm not having of any spaces here. So this is the indentations error while we while we applying our Terraform script. Then I want to this Terraform script formatically. Then what we have to use here? So we have to use for the command, we have to go with for the format command. This is called as a fmt command. You can see here the, so indentations are removed from our test script, because here the it will be in one our test script of the in the one format, that is called as a Terraform format command. After that, we discuss about the, so Terraform plan command. So what is the purpose of this plan? So what type of the resources we are going to create in our AWS account, then we will get the plans. You can see here the, suppose we are going with EC2 machines here. So once we apply the plan, then you can see the one state file is, let me check, I think state file is not generated. Okay, because we are not applied any command here. You can see the, this is my plan. So in this plan, so you can see the, this is my AMI. Then after that, what type of all resources of the configuration you can see in the your plan. So we are going to create test VM will be created from our side in the plan. You can see here the, we are using the tag name that is called as the UAT. Then you can see the, this is my, then after that you can see each and everything here. Then user data replace no change. Then whatever we have the plan, then you can see here the, so plan to add, what we are going to add here, plan to add, are we going to any change? No, we are not going to any change here. So that's why we can see here the 0. Are we going to any destroyed here? No, we are not going to any destroyed. So that's why we can see here the destroyed 0 here. After that, once we plan command, then I want to generate my resources in my AWS account. Then what we have to do here, we have to use the apply command. Once we apply command, then our Terraform script will be executed. Then the resources will be generated in our AWS account. You can see here the, once we apply command, then you can see here the one state file is generated. Then uh, you can see here the, it is asking for me if you want to create a resources in my AWS account. Yes, I want to generate. So we have to enter the yes. Okay. After that, you can see the one creating AWS instances creating. So it will be take some time. You can see here the, in my AWS account, I don't have any instance machines. So you can see here the, now we are generating the one EC2 instance machines here. So but whenever we apply the command here, okay, so whenever we apply the command, in this apply command you can see the apply completed resources one added. Are we going to any modified? No, we are not going to any modified. Are we going to any destroy? No, we are not going to any destroyed here. You can see here the one state file is generated in this state file. So you can see here the data, some data is here. But what is the purpose of this state file? The state file contain the current state of the infrastructure that Terraform manage. Okay, and why this is the purpose? What is the purpose of this machine? What is the purpose of this state file? So it keeps the track of your resources, their attribute and their dependency. Suppose what type of are we going to resource, what type of resources we are going to create in our AWS account. So By using of the state file, we can easily identify. So what type of whatever we creating the resources, then we can easily track our resources in our uh, AWS account by using of the state file. Then some we have the attributes, we have the some dependencies. But whenever we're talking about of this state file, you can see that this state file will be available in our JSON file. So it is a JSON format. So key and value, and here we can call as a colon. So it is a JSON file that store all information Terraform needs to know about the infrastructure. So it create modified and whatever we have the including resources ID, whatever we have the configurations, then whatever we have the relations between the resources. So it will be stored from the it will be stored in our state file. You can see here the so in state file, so this is my manage mode. Then you can see what type of resources we generated here, AWS instances. Then you can see the my name for that instances. Then you can see the provider, who is the provider here. Now this is the AWS provider. Then you can see the instances. In the instances in the JSON files, you can see the one array is generated. So what is the array? Array is nothing but if you want to add the multiple values, then you can go with arrays here. In this array, you can see here that we have the multiple data. So that's why this is the array. This is my opening tag, this is my closing tags here, where we have, you can see this is my closing tags here. But these are the what is the purpose of this state file? State file is nothing but, so it contains the current state of the infrastructure. So what is the current infrastructures here? So my in my state file, sorry, in my Terraform script, we have the one infrastructure. So we are going to create one infrastructure. So in that, I'm going to each and everything details will be stored in our state file. In the state file, so we can easily track our resources, some attribute, some dependencies by using of the this state file. So that is the purpose of the Terraform state file. So someone is asked me, so what is the difference between the log file and Terraform state file? Then what we have to say here, log file is nothing but we have to maintain the provider versions, because it should not be mismatched resources whenever we using of the multiple resources we are going to create in our AWS account. So same version should be follow all resources, and whenever we have the multiple team, then all teams should be follow the same version. So that's why we have to maintain the Terraform log files here. When we talk about of the Terraform state file is nothing but we have to, we can say call as a, we are storing the all details which is provided from the our test script side. So if we are going to create one EC2 instances, then we will store each and every data in our state file. We will store it, and because we need to the track the resources, so it it is easy for the track all resources. Then we have the attribute, then we have the dependency, each and everything we have in the state files. Okay, but otherwise when we talk about the node.js, so whenever we are running of the node.js, at that time suppose I want to open my front-end application at my local level, then what we have to install in our application, we have to install npm package. So whenever we npm package, whenever we call the local server, whenever we host the local server, at that time you can see here the one log file will be generated from the npm package. What is the purpose of this log file? So in that we have the some, not this one, in this in that log uh, packages, so it should be same version, should not be changed in your future. Suppose if we are changing continuously our dependencies in our project, so what is the dependency? Dependency is nothing but So suppose I want to npm package in my application, then what we have to do? We have to use the maven in our project. Then we need to download these dependencies for that npm package. So those those npm version should not be changed every time. So that's why we have to go with lock dependencies. So that is called as a log. So log, sorry, not log. So log is nothing but, so we have to fix the version for my further or future of the changes. So that is called as a log file. And when we talk about of the state file is nothing but in your Terraform script. So we can easily identify, we can easily track our resources by using of the state file. So that's why one state file will be generated once we apply our Terraform script. So that is the state file. Okay. So when we talk about of the next thing here, suppose we already created one resources, same thing. Okay. Suppose I am going to apply same Terraform apply command. Then what will be happen here? You can see here the, are we going to any changes here? You can see here. So someone some first time whenever we learning, we thought we will sometimes in our mind we can say call it a, so it will be generate again and again machines. No, it won't be generate machines again and again here. So you can see here the resources 0, add 0, then change 0, because resources add is 0 because we are not change anything in that. When we change anything, then we can see. When we destroy, then we can see destroy. Whenever we apply the again and again command, then we cannot generate the same instances in our AWS account. You can see the only one instances are generated here in my AWS account because we already created. So that's why state file is generated here. If we deleted the state file, then we can generate our EC2 instance in our AWS account. If we have the state file, then we cannot generate the duplicate EC2 instance machine. Suppose I'm going to apply same thing, then we will get the same result. Apply complete resources 0, then 0 change, 0 destroy. If we change anything in that in our resources, suppose if I want to change T2 micro instead of I want to medium, then what we can say, it is a change something, then we will generate EC2 instances. If we modified that, you can see here that we got the same result. You can see here the are we going to create any EC2 instances? No, we are not going to create any EC2 instances here. So you can see here the, where is me? Okay, so you can see here the only one EC2 instances are created here. So whenever we are applying the multiple times same command, then duplicate value won't be generated in our AWS account. So that is the thing for the our Terraform script here. So after that, we have the next topic that is called as a variable in the Terraform. So what is the variable? Variable is nothing but we can say call as a, it is a container, or it we can say call as a, if I want to store the some data. So variable is nothing but it is a container. In that container I want to store the data, then we have to go with variable. Suppose when we talk about of the Java, in the Java, suppose I want to store the one variable. Okay, so I want to store the age. Then what we have to do here, we have to declare the one data type. This is my data, this is my age is nothing but this is my variable, and this is my value. We can say called as a, this is the variable. Same thing, we have the variables in the Terraform. So variables are used to store the data in the key value format. So what is the key value format? Already we discussed in the Terraform. We have the same thing for the JSONs like that. So one is a key and one is a value. Key is nothing but, suppose I want to store the age. So whenever we take when we take example here as a perspective of the Terraform variables here, then I want to store. Then what we have to do here? We have to same thing here. mention like. So this is my key, this is my value. Same thing whenever we talking about of the uh, key value format in the JSON. So instead of the assign operator, we use only here the colon. You can see already in our state file, you can see here the this is my JSON format. In this JSON format, you can see the this is my colon, and we have the open curly braces, close curly braces. Sorry, here we have the close curly, open curly braces, close. If you want to store more value, then we have to go with arrays concept in our JSON. Okay, this is the basic thing. Okay, then we can suppose here, but why we need to go with variables in the Terraform? You can see here, this is my one variable, this is my one variable. Okay, so this is my one variable, but right now we are going with hard-coded value here. Is this recommendation? No, this is not recommendation. Whenever we are using of the real-time project, at that time we have to use the variable concept in our Terraform, because suppose we are going to hard-coded value, then we cannot easily maintain, because it is difficult to the modify the changes. So that's why I want to modify some EC2 instance. Then what we have to do here? So we have to change the hard-coded value here every time. But this is not good recommendation whenever we creating of the Terraform script. So that's why we have to use for the variables in our Terraform. So whenever we suppose I want to uh, here you can see the I don't want to hard coded value in my Terraform script. Then what we have to do here? We have to generate one. Let me change. Let me. We have to. Sorry. So I'm going to create one input. Then var.pl. So I'm going to create one variable files here. Okay, so whenever we creating the one input variable files here, then we can variable maintain in the in this separate file. So variables we can maintain in this separate file, that is called as a input variable. But when we talk about of the variables in the Terraform, we have the two types of the variable in the Terraform. One is a input variable, one is a output variable. Okay, so what is the difference between the input variable and output variable? When we talk about here, the suppose this is my Terraform script, so I'm giving some input here. Suppose I want to generate one EC2 instances, then what we have to do here, we have to use value here like this. Suppose this is my instance type here, then we have to use the EC2. Okay, but this is the my input variable. I'm giving to input value in my test script. So whenever we talk about the Terraform script, in this test Terraform script, I'm going to add it some value that is called as a input value. But I want to some information from this EC2 machines. Then what we have to do here? We have to go with output variable. So that is called as a, so I'm giving here the EC2 machines, but this EC2 machines I want to get some information. Then what we have to do here? Suppose I want to check, I want to provide the some public IP addresses for this EC2 instance. Then what we have to do here? We have to go with output variable. Then we can say call it the input variable is nothing but when we talk about of the instance type, then key name, then security group, then AMI. AMI is nothing but Amazon our image machine. Okay, so this is the my you can see here the this is my input variable, this is my input variable, this is my input variable. So when we talk about of the security group, this is also my input variable. But for these EC2 instances, I want some output. I want to some check machine information. Then what we have to do? We have to go with output variables. So suppose after EC2 VM created, I want print the public IP address. I want print the some private IP addresses. Then what we have to do? We have to go with output variable. So input is nothing but we are giving some input for my AWS resources I want to create in my Terraform script. Then we have to go with input variable. I want to get some information from that existing resources, then we have to go with output variable. Suppose I want to suppose after S3 bucket I want to print the bucket information. Okay, then S3 bucket information, then we will get it because we are using the output variable at that time. After RDS is nothing but, already we know that it is a relational database services. In that relational database services, I want to print the DB endpoint. Why we require the DB endpoint? Because we need to give the developer team. So you have to use this. Developer team has to use for the DB endpoint. Without endpoint, can we add the data in our applications, whatever we have the getting from the customer side? No, we cannot store it. So we have to write it for the business logic in that. So that's why we want to print the DB endpoint. Then what we have to do here? We have to go with output variable. After that, suppose after I am user, suppose I have created one I am user. I want to create print it I am user information. So what is the purpose of this I am user? So I want to get all information for this I am user. Then what we have to do? We have to go with output variable. This is the difference between the input and output variable. So here you can see the we created one. So I'm right now I'm deleting all files here. I don't want to go with this file, okay, because I want to generate the EC2 machines by using of the input variable. Then I am going to delete also this one also. Sorry, where is my AWS account? I'm going to delete this one because I want generate one EC2 machines in my AWS account by using of the variable concept. Then what we have to do here? We generated one input variables here, that is called as a TF, input variable TFs here. After that, we generated, this is my uh, main, we can call it the main Terraform script here, but I don't want to go with main Terraform script here. So I'm going to create one files here. So provider, okay. So I'm saying here the provider.tf. So any when writing of the any Terraform script, when we writing of the any Java code, any kind of Python code, C Sharp, .NET code, at that time we have to maintain the easily our project, because here I'm going to create separate files here because I want to provide this provider information in my this file, because I don't want to maintain here in my one file. So that's why I have created one provider.tf, because we want to easy maintain our project. So that's why we need to go with variable concept, we need to go with different files. So that's why uh, we are not dependent any file to the on particular of the file. So that's why we need to create here the different files with different data. Okay, after that what we have to do here, you can see here the input variables what we have to mention here. So we have to mention, suppose this is my variable. So first what we have to do here, we have to create one input variable. So my variable name will be, okay, so my variable name will be AMI. Okay, so I want to maintain the variable AMI in this file. Okay, after that you can see the I'm already I have declared here AMI. After that we need to provide the some spaces here, then we have to use for the default here, because already we provided here the variable name here. After that I want to add the some description here, then you can add the description also, because what is the purpose of this variable name, then you can see called as a, this is my Amazon machine image. So ID we can see called as a, this is my uh, Amazon machine image ID. This is my first variable. After that, in this here, so I'm deleting this one also. Then I want to store the instance type in the as a input variable. Then what we have to do here? So we have to mention like this one. So after that, what we have to mention instance type here. Then what we have to mention here. So after that, I need to remove from here. Then we have to add the value here. Then what is the description? So we have to mention like this is the description. So what is the purpose of this description? What is the purpose of this variable? Okay. So we can simply as a represent the my EC2 instances type. Okay. This is my I don't want to underscore in this. Okay. So after that, I want to provide some key name. Okay. So I'm deleting this one also. Then key name. Okay. So this is my key name. So input variable, what we have to mention here, we have to mention variable. Then we have to go with key name like this. Then what we have to mention here, description. We can say call as a key name. If you want to anything in the add in the description, you can add it. After that, we have to go with default keyword. Then I have to mention here the like this. Okay. Let me remove this key name. Okay. So key name already we declare. So these are the my input variables, and you can see this is my providers, AWS provider. Then after that we have the security group. If you want to add security group, you can add lock here in the input variables. Okay. After that, you can see that I want to generate one UAT EC2 instance in my AWS account. Then we are going with here. If you want to add the security group in input variable, then you can add. Okay. After that, this is my main.tf. Okay. So I'm going to say here main.tf. This is my main Terraform file. Okay. So in this main Terraform file, one is a provider, one is a input variable, one is a main Terraform script here. Okay. After that, we need to call the input variable in my main Terraform script. Then what we have to do here, we have to go with variable name. Then what we have to mention here, so you can see the vars. Okay. After that, I need to mention here like var AMI. Okay. So I'm calling here the my variables in my main TF from the input variable TF. Okay. After that, I'm going with instance type here. Just I'm calling here var dot instance type. Okay. Just we need to the call. Sorry, I don't want. Okay. Then key name var dot key name. Whatever you have the variable name, then you have to call that. Okay. After that, this if that is the fine. If we don't have any format here, that is the fine. While we writing of the our code, once if you want to format it, then we have to apply. We have to run our Terraform format command. Okay. Then after that, you can see here the this is my tag name. Okay. So that is the we provided the information input variable main and provider. So do we need to provide information? Do we need to the call this provided information in the main file? No, we don't require. Okay. Now then I want to run this my Terraform script. Then what we have to do here? We have to first init command. We have to run the first init command. You can see the I call the Terraform init command. Then it will be add some plugins which is we required. as a provider, suppose we are going with AWS, then we will add it from the Terraform side here. After that, what we have to do here, what suppose I want to go with validate. So I want to check, is there any syntax error in my Terraform script? Just I want to check it. You can see our configuration is success here. After that, what we have to do here, just I'm applying here the arrow up keyword here, so we can see the previous of the command what we used in that. You can see the, so you can see the input var and main tf, so it is formatted, okay, when we applied format command. After that, so right now we are going with input variables. We are not created any output variables here. We will see, okay, later on. After that, what we have to do here, we have to check my apply plan apply here in the Terraform script here. Then you can see the, we will get some output. We are going to create these plans, okay. Here you can see the, we are adding one plan, so we are not changing anything, we are not any destroyed here. You can see here the apply, okay. Once we apply command, then let's see, are we going to create EC2 instances by using of the variable in our Terraform. You can see here the, let me refresh here, are we going to create any EC2 instance in our AWS account or not, because we used variable concept in our Terraform script, okay. Let me check what happened here. Yes, I want to provide some values here. Yes, okay. So if I don't want to any approve here, then what we have to do here, we have to go with auto approve command. So we will see one by one here. So you can see the, successfully we added the resources in our AWS account. We use here the input variables here. What is the purpose of the input variable? Because we are not going any hard coded value in my AWS in my main test script. So in my Terraform script, so that's why we use the input variable, and those input variables we called in our main Terraform script, okay. After that, we created provide, this is the one time activity, so that's why we created the one provider file here. So we will see later on one by one. So this is a, we can say called as a, we require the main these files here, okay. So after that, I want to get some information for the EC2 instances, okay. So you can see here the, uh, are we going to create, yes, we are going to create one here EC2 instances. This is the terminated, just we are initializing here. So okay, but I want to this EC2 instances, I want public IP address and private IP addresses and some information for these EC2 instances. Then what we have to do here, we have to create a one file that is called as a output variable, okay. We can call it as output vars.tf, okay. So I'm going to, as of normal here, you can see the, this is my normal English syntaxes. We are not going to any kind of, you know, different syntaxes here, okay. So this is the HashCom company provided syntaxes like JSON format, okay. Then you can see the, I have created one output vars.tf file here, okay. So I want to get some information, public IP addresses, private IP addresses, then some information. Then what we have to do here, we have to go with output, where we have to store first output variable. So I'm going to create Okay, this is my output. Then I'm saying here the what we need here EC2 VM public IP addresses. So you can see here the underscore. Already we know that if we have the multiple words, then we have to use the public IP. Okay, then okay, then what we have to provide here the value, because we want to get some information, so that's why I'm going with here the value. Okay, but whenever we created here the, you can see here the what whatever we created, but you can see the what we have to mention here the AWS EC2 AWS underscore instances. Okay, after that, so here we have the what we have to use the value here. So in my main TF, you can see the what is my EC2 what is my reference variable here. So this is my alias name. Okay, for this AWS instances, this is my reference name. We have to use in our output variable. Otherwise, we will we won't get any value from the AWS side. You can see here the this is my reference name for my AWS instances. Okay, after that it can be anything. Suppose we created here the suppose I have created the A, then we have to use the same thing. Okay, then you can see here the after that what we have to here, then we have to go with public IP. We have to mention I want public IP, then we will get the information. Okay, you can see that I have created one output variable. In this output variable I have mentioned for EC2 VM I want public IP addresses. This is my value. Then AWS instances, because we use here the what type of resources. Suppose we use the S3 bucket resources, then what we have to mention here, we have to mention same like this S3 bucket resources. Then after that I need to the mention here the same reference variable here. Okay, so after that I think test VM, it was test VM. Okay, okay, then after that I need to the mention here the which type of information I want here. I want information for the public IP, then we have to go with this one. Okay, then same thing, suppose I want same private IP, then what we have to mention, same thing we have to mention like this private IP. Okay, after that what we have to mention here, same thing, we need to the change only this parameter. Okay, then I think let me remove this one, it is added. Okay, okay, this is the two variables I have added in our output vars.pl. I want two information for my this machines, public IP and private IP. Then what we have to do here, we have to go with same thing, apply command. I think I missed something here. The let me check here. Okay, I missed here, so that's why. Okay, we got a error in our terminal. Okay, you can see here the once I apply the command, then we will get the information here. So you can see here the, so it will be take some time. You can see here the two, yes, I want to, you can see change the output. This is my private IP, this is my public IP. Okay, so you can apply this plan. Okay, then you will get the all info. But earlier whenever we created here, are we going to, when we applied here, you can see here the, here you can see here the, once we apply, Then you can see the, are we going to get any information from the, you can see we added one resources, but are we saying any private IP or public IP here? No, we are not seeing here any private IP and public IP because we are not created any output variable. Same thing, I want to get all information for my machine. Then what we have to do here? We have to go with same output information. Okay. Then what we have to mention like this one. So we have to mention info only. Okay. So I want info only because we are, I want get all information for my EC2 VM. Okay. So then after that, what we have to here, we have to mention like this one. This is my resource name. Then we have to mention the reference name here. Then just we need to remove from this one. Okay. Because already we mentioned here. Are we going to any particular filter data? No, we are going to all details. So that's why we use here the only test VM references here. I want particular the filter data, then we can go with that particular the filter, that particular the informations. Okay, so I want particular of the public IP, then we have to go with write the public IP. Then I want to get all information, then there is no need to the mention like this public IP and information. Okay, just we have to mention in the output variable and then okay. But here you can see the apply cancel because we already created the resources. Just I want to change the output here. So that's why I want to change to the output. I want value. So that's why we are getting the all information. So that's why we have to go with same apply command here. Then I want to get all information here for my EC2 VM. Then you will get the, and you can see the one tf.text log info. In this log info, we are generating the some data for the tracking purpose. Yes, I want to approve. Yes, then you can see the all information we got from the EC2 instances. Then you can see that this is my output. Then already we call the private IP and we call the public IP. So that's all. On all information we will get from the this output EC2 VM info. Okay, these are the things. But whenever we created, every time whenever we apply command here, you can see the, we observed here the one backup file is generated because one backup file is generated because we are changing something each and everything. So that's why one state file will be generated. So this is my old file, this is my new file. So why we need to the backup? Because I don't want to change it. Then what we have to do, go, we have to go with this backup file, then we will get the previous changes. So that's why every time whenever we apply, then you can see the, if we changes anything, then one backup file will be generated here. So that is the thing. So what we learn here, we learn what is the difference between the log file, what is the purpose of the log file, what is the purpose of the state file, then what is the difference between the log file, what is the difference between the state file. So sorry, what is the difference between the log file and state file, we already learned. Then after that, after that what we learn here, so we learn variables in the Terraform. So what type of the variables in the Terraform, we have the two types of the variable in the Terraform. One is the input variable, one is the output variable. When we have to go with input variable, if we want to give the some information for that resources, then we have to go with input variable. Then I want to get some information from the resources, then we have to go with output variable. This is the uh, output variable. So whenever we are anyone ask what is the difference between the input variable and output variable, then we have to say like, if you want to add some information, if you want to add some resources, then we have to go with input variable. If you want to get details information from that particular of the resources, then we have to go with output variable. These are the things, and we created here the four files. One is the input variable, one is the main tf, that is called as a main uh, Terraform script. In this main Terraform script, we created, we call the different input variables and we put the values in that. and we generated the main Terraform script here, and we call the main Terraform script here. Then output variable, why we go with output variable? I want to get some information from that particular of the resources, then we have to go with output variable. Then what is the purpose of the provider? Provider is nothing but, so already we know that what type of the providers. Suppose we are going with AWS, then we have to go with AWS. That's why we can say call as a, this is my input login credentials. We can say call as a in short. Okay. So these are the things we completed. In upcoming sessions, we will start our new topic that is called as a some 10 command, and then untamed command. We have the Terraform in the Terraform. We have the two concept. One is a taint and one is a untamed. Okay. After that, we will start our next topic, models. Okay, how to work with models, because here just we are creating all data in particular of the, suppose we created one easy to install, this is my one project, you can consider it, but this is my at resource level. Okay, suppose I want to create an infrastructure my particular of the project, then what we can say, what is that? This is Terraform, suppose this is my project name, this is my resource name, then we are putting all values in this particular of the folder, so we don't have any concept like right now we are not following any uh, concept model concept here. So just we are, as a beginner, we are looking here the what is the purpose of this. Okay, after that we will start environment concept and workspace concept. So environment and workspace both are the same, so we have the some little bit difference in between. Then we will start one by one. Then once we complete it, uh, I required more 3 sessions for the Terraform. Okay. Yep. After that, we will start our next topic. Okay. Once we complete. Thank you, guys.